Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another sacred channeling here on Susan Dawn Ascension Connections. We are in the middle of a very intense energy cycle right now. A lot of you might be feeling it. If you're not, amazing. It's taking that energy for all of us. You might be helping to transmute some of that energy for those of us who are experiencing a lot of intense energy. I don't want to call it heavy energy because I don't feel like we are really experiencing it like that, like we had in the past. But it does feel very intense. So, what is going on? Remember, all of these readings are timeless. We're going to be talking about a lot today, especially when it comes to sacred partners, twin flames, and the ascension energy. If you're not on this twin flame or sacred partner path to ascension, take the messages as they resonate for your own inner ascension journey. And remember, these readings are meant to be timeless. We are kind of time stamping it because we're going to be talking about what we're experiencing cosmically right now, especially with the full moon eclipse and the 11:11 gateway. But again, whenever you're finding this is when you are meant to hear it. Take it as it resonates for you. Always use your discernment and always trust your intuition. Get out of the ego mind, trust the heart and what it is you're feeling in your own soul's truth. Okay, so what is going on? We just passed the very powerful and pivotal full moon eclipse in Taurus. It was a blood moon. It was a major ending of a cycle. It was the ending of eclipse season and the major ending of a cycle. They're bringing me right now back to May. I had channeled a Sacred Union energy update. I'll link that in the description box below, called This is Where Everything Changes. I just channeled that a couple of days ago, and very powerful information there. We'll talk about some of that here. But in that reading or in that channeling over on my main page, we had, as I was getting the title for that, I'm like, that sounds very familiar. So I looked back to see if I had ever titled another video with that same title before, and we had, and it was the eclipse season this year in May. So this 6 month cycle has been really important, really pivotal. Between now and then, it's been just a major energy release, a major transformation cycle. So you might have seen your world kind of transforming, your inner world transforming, a lot of growth. So between the eclipse season in May, which is kind of what jump started all of this, you might have seen some change in your physical world, or you might have seen some changes within yourself, or the forward movement beginning to take root. What I was channeling back then was over the summer, there was going to be kind of like a snowball effect where everything felt a little bit calm, everything felt a little bit stagnant, even like it was at a pause. But throughout the summer months, we would start to pick up that momentum. And I had channeled back then that the momentum was especially going to pick up around August with the Lionsgate, and that's exactly what has happened. So, started in May with the first eclipse season of the year. Then we have now. So, what happened with the Lionsgate was it was almost like that opened the doorway to an accelerated ascension. And what they channeled to me a couple of days ago was it was almost like it was like a wormhole. And if you have seen wormholes in like fiction and like movies and stuff like that, you know that it speeds up time. You go through the wormhole and it's like you come out the other side, and time is really truncated. Time goes really fast. It's a portal is what a wormhole really is. And so that's what it felt like. It felt like, number one, what I'm hearing is closing out cycles that began in 2019. So you might be feeling the pressure of all those timelines converging, especially if you're in resistance to change. Especially if you've been in a little bit of a stubborn energy, resistant energy. I'm also hearing pride. If you've had like your pride or your ego really kind of screaming and not really surrendering to the soul, you might have felt that heaviness. You might have felt that resistance. You might have felt that pressure, like you were in a pressure cooker. And that's because a lot of timelines are collapsing and closing out right now, especially with regards to karma. Cycles are closing out right now. And it began with the Lionsgate when you walked through that doorway, you walked through that portal, and it began the accelerated ascension process. Time is not linear. we tend to, time is just energy, right? We tend to, with our conscious minds, with our egoic minds, let's say, with our human minds, we make it into a construct. We structure our lives according to time. But time is not linear. Time is just a human construct. Time is just energy. And our conscious minds truly understand this, or I should say our subconscious minds truly understand this, our souls truly understand this. You know, how when you're at work or when you're doing something that you don't want to do, or, you know, time seems to go really slow, or if you're feeling really happy and high vibrational and just joyful, time seems to speed up. It's because it's all the energy that you're putting out, that you're experiencing, that changes the energy of time itself. So even though it's been months between the Lionsgate in August, the 8/8 portal, and now um, November 10th and 11th, when we're recording this, it's been a couple of months. It's like it's accelerated. Our human minds might be like, oh my gosh, that's been 3, 4 months. But our souls are like, that's no time at all. It was, especially when it comes to ascension, it was accelerated. You are doing in a short span of time what many other people are taking years to do with regards to your healing journey, with regards to your ascension journey, especially when it comes to this planetary ascension. You are doing now in this truncated period of time what others are clearing, taking lifetimes to clear. That's what ascension is. The ascension journey is helping you speed it up. And if you are a twin flame, if you are a light worker, if you are a way shower, then you are leading this ascension process for the rest of the planet. You are helping the rest of the planet to transmute and ascend because you're in a more conscious state of your ascension. You're understanding your ascension journey more consciously. I do believe that everybody is going through the ascension process on this planet. It just looks a little bit different. They might not have the language for it. They might not have the conscious awareness of it, but you have the conscious awareness, and that what makes you that kind of forefront of the journey. So you're really experiencing this and helping to transmute and helping to lead the way for those who are also going through this ascension process, who will be understanding it or becoming more conscious of it at a later time, because that's part of their path and that's part of their journey. We talk a lot about allowing other people to have their path, and embracing and having compassion for everybody's path, where they are in their journey, not forcing change, not forcing anybody to wake up, not forcing anybody to go through their growth journey, but allowing everybody to have their journey, because that is their journey, that is their path. So your ascension journey has been really truncated. You've been going through this for months, years, but especially now, it's like it's speeding up. The ascension journey is speeding up because that's where collectively, not just within our individual segment, but collectively, globally, on this planet, the ascension journey is speeding up. And so your journey as a twin flame sacred partner, part of this collective, might be very much experiencing the transmutation of old energies, feeling like you're in between worlds, feeling like there's a lot of pressure coming down on you to change. And that's because your soul is guiding you towards that change. Your soul is ready for that change. You're ready for that quantum leap in your life. It's just your ego mind that likes the familiar, that likes the comfort, that holds on to the past, that might be a little bit fearful of that. But your soul is ready and asking for that quantum leap. So we're in this corridor, we're in this kind of like wormhole kind of energy where everything is happening very, very fast. And the full moon eclipse was really bringing up all of that residual energy, any of that debris, anything that still was kind of stuck in the subconscious, still that you were holding on to, that needed to be brought up to the surface, that was holding you back from taking that quantum leap, from trusting your very soul self, from trusting in the universe and being conscious of the universe. Anything that was still kind of holding you back in that ego, or the pain patterns or behaviors or addictions, or whatever it was that was keeping you from, I'm seeing a mask, so that was keeping you behind a mask, that was keeping you from being authentically you. It was bringing all that up to the surface. And that can look a number of different ways. It can look like grief, it can look like pain, it can look like resentment, it can look like anger, but that is all past energy that needs to be released. You don't attach a story to it. You don't create a story around it. I don't want to go deep into that today. I'm going to link the very pivotal and profound reading that I did about that in the description box, about how you shift your perspective, how you change the pattern, how you allow yourself to be the observer of those emotions and feel those emotions, but you don't attach to them. You don't create a story around them anymore. Your self awareness, I always say this, your self awareness is your superpower. It is your greatest power that you have, your own self awareness, your self awareness of yourself, your self awareness of your body, your self awareness of how you show up in the world. Your self awareness, your connection to yourself is your greatest power. That's where your power comes from, because your connection to yourself is also your connection to source energy. It's also your connection to God. So trusting in yourself, knowing yourself in a very deep, intimate level helps you to transmute those energies, transmute those emotions, allowing yourself to feel those emotions, but also knowing, yes, that's part of a past pain pattern, that's part of a past energy, and I can allow myself to feel it, bring it up to the surface, and release it into the universe. That's where you're held. That's where the universe itself cradles you and holds space for you. That's where you are safe. That's where you are supported. It's just our fears, especially if there's trauma associated with this. If we in some way feel unsafe to feel our emotions, that's where we are held by the universe and supported by the universe, supported by God's source. So keep connecting deep within your heart space and keep connecting to God's source, because that's where your connection is. That's where you are safe. That's where you're supported. That's where you're held. And the more that you feel into that connection, the more you will see that displayed in your physical world with the people that you meet, the soul family that comes into your life, the partners that you have, the family dynamics that shift and change. The more that you feel that energy within yourself and transmute that old kind of soul sludge, that old kind of energy that really just feels so dense and heavy, the more you transmute that, the more it shifts your entire reality. You don't shift from the external in, you shift from the inner out. Before I get more into the 1111 portal, I want to share this as well, because they're bringing it to me. That's especially true within the divine masculine and the divine feminine energies. The divine masculine and the divine feminine energies experience these ascension energies, or these shifts, in a little bit of different ways, and that's what creates a union of opposites. Divine masculines and divine feminines, twin flames, are these core opposites. At the same, you are, or at the core, you are the same. You are one soul that is being experienced in two separate bodies. Your oversoul is the same. You're experiencing this journey in two separate bodies. Parallel experiences might look a little bit different in your external experiences, but the lessons, the experiences, and the essence, the energy of it is the same. It might look very different with what you experience in circumstances outwardly, but the lessons, the energy of it for what you are learning and how you are growing and how you are expanding is the same within. And the reason why this happens is, it's like, we talk about this in my Twin Flame Truths channeling, where you are you came here in this lifetime to accelerate your ascension, to expand in your awareness, and to grow in oneness, and to bring about this unity consciousness. And so what better way than to experience it in two separate bodies? That's the accelerated ascension. It's almost like what they're bringing me is Hermione in Harry Potter, and how, how she wanted to take every course available at Hogwarts, and she needed a time turner in order to do that. That was the key for her. She couldn't take one class at the same time that another class was happening, and so she had to kind of go back in time and kind of split herself off in order to take both classes that were happening simultaneously. It's that kind of similar vibe. It's that kind of similar energy, where it's like, you and your partner, to accelerate your knowledge, to accelerate your expansion, you incarnated into two physical vessels. in order to continue to grow and expand through your experiences. But you come together in union, you come together in harmony, you come together in balance to share that knowledge and especially to share that love. Because again, the foundation is unity consciousness, the foundation is oneness, and the foundation is love. And so you're clearing all this karma at accelerated rate. You're clearing all this energy in a quicker way. You're learning, you're expanding, you're growing in a quicker way. And you come together to understand that all there is unconditional love. Again, Twin Flame Truths channeling. I'll put that link in the description box below, especially if you're new here. I have a playlist over on my main channel, Susan Dawn Spiritual Connections. That is a sneak peek of that 3-hour channeling all about twin flames and sacred partners. So the divine masculine experiences physical changes, and those physical changes, because the divine masculine is a very physical kind of energy, we need that very grounded energy, a beautiful grounded energy of presence and stability and structure. The divine masculine experiences physical changes that are then the catalyst for internal transformation. The divine feminine is the opposite. The divine feminine, she's very connected to the spiritual realms, and she experiences internal transformation that then shifts her external reality, or then creates shifts in her external reality. You have both energies within you, so at given points in time, you might experience this in different ways. For example, when I was very much in my masculine energy, I was experiencing Lyme disease, which was a very physical kind of energy, which was a very physical kind of experience with illness. And so that experience shifted a lot within me, was a core awakening experience for me that shifted a lot of energy and was a catalyst for awakening, was a catalyst for inner transformation. Then when I met with my divine counterpart, we were activated to the Ascension journey, which is a higher level of awakening. It's a deeper level of awakening and growth and expansion within the self. That is what really shifts your consciousness. And so when I was healing my masculine energy within and I was healing my feminine energy within, coming back to my core essence as a feminine energy, I was experiencing a lot of internal transformations that was then shifting my external world. For example, starting this business, maybe even ending old businesses, ending old relationships. But the inner transformation was what was shifting my external reality. So at given times, you'll experience this in a number of different ways, depending on what is activated, what core essence is activated within you, divine masculine, divine feminine. But you have both within you, but that's the union of opposites. And your union, your inner union is as one. It's the yin yang symbol. That is the divine masculine and the divine feminine in its wholeness, in its oneness. They showed it to me as kind of two separate pieces, the black part and the white part, right? The yin and the yang, as two separate pieces, and then union is coming together, locking, and then that wheel kind of turns. The yin yang symbol kind of turns. It's like the wheel of destiny. That's what the union is. It's the two parts to one whole. It's a union of opposites, two parts to one whole. And union is that wholeness. Union is that coming together in that harmony and understanding that both help to operate the whole. It's like the keys in the lock. You need both parts to open that doorway of oneness, to open that doorway of unity consciousness, to open that doorway of love. So you experience it in a number of different ways. And that's what's been happening, is there is this greater level of ascension, accelerated ascension that is happening. So what they had shown to me was that the eclipse was a powerful energy of clearing and endings and timeline collapsing and a lot of stuff coming up to the surface. The 1111 portal that we're experiencing the energy of it now, but the 1111 portal is tomorrow as I'm channeling this, and that is actually another gateway. So let me try to clarify this. The Lion's Gate on 8/8 was the open doorway. It opened the door for you to step through that wormhole to accelerate ascension. So you might have experienced a lot of awakening, a lot of ascension, a lot of shifts and transformation within yourself with this energy throughout the past couple of months. The full moon eclipse was helping to clear out more of that dense energy so that with the 1111 portal, you can step through that doorway into your new life. And that's what it is. It's like coming out the other end of the wormhole, coming out the other end of the corridor, and stepping through the doorway of a new life. And in between that was all this energy that you were clearing, that you were healing, that you were bringing to your awareness, that you were understanding within yourself in order to step into your new life. The 1111 portal is a gateway, an open gateway. So you can step through it at any time. You can make that conscious choice at any time, not just on this date, but it is a powerful manifestation energy for you to create your new life. So this energy of the full moon eclipse really clearing, really collapsing timelines, really bringing to your awareness what needs to shift within yourself so that you can walk through that doorway consciously to make different choices for your life in a new energy, in a new version of yourself that then creates a new version of your physical human experience. If you've been needing change, if you've been wanting change, if you've been wanting to kind of put the past behind you, if you know that you're stepping into a new version of yourself, this 8/8 Lionsgate full moon eclipse energy 1111 portal was really helping you to shift the energy within yourself to create those endings in order for new beginnings to take place, in order for you to create the new from this 1111 starting point. That's what it kind of feels like. The 1111 is kind of like a starting point for the rest of your life. The full moon eclipse was kind of clearing out all of that residual energy, all of that ending energy for you to begin anew. And what does that mean for you? It means whatever it is that you desire, whatever it is that you want for yourself, for you to claim that for yourself, not in an energy of control, not in an energy of force or manipulation, but in divine connection to yourself, in divine understanding that you are supported and guided by the universe, not in the distorted ways of the old paradigm, the old energy that you were in, but in this new energy of surrender and trust and acceptance and creation, recognizing that your power is your choices, your power is how you create for yourself. Your power is your conscious choices, your awareness, again, your connection to yourself. So, especially with this being Scorpio energy, where we're being asked to really dive into our emotions, Scorpio energy asks us, how aware are we of ourselves? How conscious are we of ourselves and the choices that we make, of our reactions, of our responses, of our emotions, of our actions? How conscious are we? And from that level of consciousness, what are we creating now? So what actions are we taking? How are we receiving information? How are we receiving that divine guidance? What are we doing with that divine guidance? It's all part of this collective energy. So this 1111 portal has been really, really interesting. They're guiding me to the cards now. I wanted to pull cards earlier in the week. I did a reel over on Instagram where there it is. I wanted to pull some cards, and I did. It was almost like a sneak peek. But there was so much that was coming through with this energy that I said, you know what, I'm going to channel this in the sacred channeling, and that's what we're going to do now. So the first couple of cards that we got was the path, discernment, and action. And then the next three set of cards was adjustments are required, your commitment is being tested, and nothing is yet set in stone. So I want to talk about this kind of one by one as a whole. The path. This is exactly what we're talking about. This is that portal energy that we've been picking up on for the past several weeks. This is you walking your path of ascension, walking your sacred path in your truth, in your authenticity. And what is truth and what is authenticity? Truth and authenticity is understanding that your path might not look like others. Everybody is on their sacred path. Everybody is where they're guided to go. It might not look like others, and that might make for a seemingly lonely experience. But along your path, you're also going to meet beautiful souls that you are connected with, that are part of your experience, and that's what makes it less lonely. That's what makes you feel more supported along your journey. You are never alone. And what I'm hearing is from God is we make sure of that. We make sure that you know you're not alone, both spiritually, through your connection directly to God, and through the people that come into your life, because those people are acting as catalysts through God. The universe and God always works through the world around us, because the world around us is God, is the universe. We're all aspects of God's source. And so when you have beautiful, meaningful conversations with people, that's God working through them. When you are learning through other people, that's God working through them. When you are teaching other people or having an experience with other people, that's God working through you. God works through all. Everything is an aspect of God. God is that creation energy, and we are all threads in that tapestry of creation. All of us, everything, every living consciousness. That is the understanding of unity consciousness, that we can be unique expressions of God's source. We are all unique expressions of God's source, and as such, we are all uniquely on our own paths, but we are all part of each other's journey in some way, shape, and form. And so what this is really saying is embrace your path. Don't resist your path. Allow yourself to understand that you might have been walking a certain path in the past, and that was an old version of you that was needed, that was necessary for that part of your ascension journey, part of your life experience, but that you don't have to hold on to that. I've been experiencing something myself in which I'm realizing that I'm letting go of an old version of myself. And that's been a little bit difficult. It's always been difficult for me to let go. But I've always had that desire to keep moving forward, to keep letting go of what I need to in order to become the best version of myself, because I deeply desire to keep embodying love and keep being the best version of myself, to keep being in service to God, to keep being in service to the world. And I can only do that if I'm the best version of myself. And so that's what really drives me through this transformation, through these shifts, is because I want to be in service to people. I want to be in service to God. And I want to experience that within myself, to be that best version that I possibly can be. That's what drives me to learn. That's what drives me to experience. That's what drives me to keep developing myself and keep learning through those whatever experiences I'm having or whatever resources I'm being shown. So through these experiences, through these transformations, you are being guided to let go of these past versions of yourself, and it can be very, very difficult, because we become attached to that. That's all we know. We know that past version of ourselves, but we also have to allow ourselves to trust, and that's where your authenticity comes in. That's where your truth comes in. It's knowing that no matter where you're headed, it's on the path of yourself. It's you're honoring yourself, and you're being true to you. As long as you're being true to you, you can't take a misstep. There are no mistakes. You're not misstepping as long as you're being true to you yourself and honoring yourself. So we're letting go of past versions of ourselves, even a past version of our life. And I'm also getting the energy that you might be experiencing this where it seems like, again, the illusion of time, right? Where it seems like time feels very different, where it feels like last week didn't exist, where it feels like you have those memories of weeks ago, months ago, years ago, but it's almost like it feels like another lifetime because you're so changed within yourself. You are a new version, a new energy within yourself. So in essence, it is like another lifetime. And what I'm hearing is it's almost like you're experiencing another lifetime within this incarnation. You're experiencing and that's because you keep going through this death and rebirth period within yourself. Death and rebirth doesn't just happen within the physical body. It happens energetically as well, and that's what we experience on this ascension journey, allowing ourselves to go through that energetic transformation. And that's why it feels like when I look back at my past, when I look back at, for example, the biggest change of my life was illness. When I look back at that, it feels like another lifetime ago. It doesn't feel connected to the version that I am now. And so that's where I have experienced that death and rebirth kind of energy. That's where I've stepped into a new version of myself. And so that's where I have to keep letting go of that version that I was. Anywhere where I'm holding on to that old energy doesn't mean that you don't have people, places, things that are still in your life from that past version. The energy is what changes. How you interact with those people is what changes. How you respond, how you love, how those dynamics change. That's what transforms. That's what changes. You can still have those same people in your life. You can still have those same jobs. You can still have those same whatever. but it's going to shift a little bit because you're shifting. For example, your job might expand. You might have promotions. You might have more responsibility. You might be more aligned with work that you love. Because you're shifting into a higher frequency, the world around you naturally has to shift into a higher frequency. When it comes to relationships, you might be in the same romantic partnership. You might be in the same family dynamics. You might still have your mom and your dad, your brothers and your sisters. You might still have the same friend group, but your dynamics will shift. Maybe they'll become more intimate. Maybe they'll become more deeper connections. Maybe the tension that you might have experienced with them fades away because you are shifting into a higher level of yourself and version of yourself that's going to reflect in the world around you. So allow yourself to shift. Allow those relationships to change. Allow yourself to change. Allow your life to change. That's the doorway. That's the portal that you have entered into. And so you might have felt like you were in this kind of in-between state, but allow yourself to shift because there is a brand new life that is waiting for you. And this is a life that you desire. It's not anything outside of what you want for yourself. It's not anything outside of what you desire. It's not anything outside of what you dream. The more you shift into higher frequency, the more you are aligning to what it is that you want, what it is that you dream. But you have to allow that shift within yourself. You have to allow yourself to walk the path and allow those changes to take place. We also have discernment and we have action. I'm taking these energies at the same time. There's a lot that is shifting here, and what I'm getting is this eclipse shifted a lot within yourself. You have the moon energy and you have the sun energy. And what this eclipse was it was the aligning of the moon and the sun. The moon and the sun coming together and meeting in that union, in that sacred harmony, in that beautiful balance, where it might feel like they are separated in the sky sometimes. Eclipse energy is when they meet, right? They kind of like overlap. And that's what this energy feels like. So with that energy, especially for sacred partners, it might have brought up a lot with regards to separation and abandonment. And remember that those are the illusion. They're bringing forth a beautiful energy. Again, the sun and the moon. The sun being the masculine energy, the moon being the feminine energy. It might look like separation. There's beautiful poetry about this as well. I'm being reminded about how the sun loves the moon so much that he sets each morning or he sets each night so that the moon can shine. And they're always kind of circling each other, but very rarely meeting. It's very beautiful. It's very nostalgic. It's very sentimental, right? Very bittersweet as well. But that separation truly is an illusion because they're part of the same sky. They're part of the same sky. They're part of the same energy. So that is the illusion. And so what I'm getting is be very aware of illusion right now. Illusion is very, very thick. Use your discernment where it feels like there's abandonment, where it feels like there's even betrayal, resentment, anger, where it feels like there is this being left out in the cold, rejection, where it feels like there is this separation energy. Understand that you're never separate. You're never separate from yourself. You're never separate from God. You're never separate from your loved ones, whoever they are. You're never separate from your sacred partner. You're never separate. It's just the illusion, the projection, the old pain patterns, the old templates, the old paradigm that creates that illusion of separation. And it's your responsibility to keep healing that within yourself and to keep shifting your consciousness. And I feel like this eclipse energy really brought a lot of those old woundings and that old paradigm up to the surface again to be cleared. Again, timelines are collapsing. Timelines where there was this separation energy, where there was this illusion energy really clearing out here. So be really mindful of and use your discernment. Don't look at things with the ego. Don't look at things with the mind. Allow yourself to have that sense of mindfulness. Allow yourself to use your intellect. We have a brain for a reason. We have intellect for a reason. But also make sure that it's aligned with your heart. Make sure you're trusting your intuition. Make sure you're trusting and seeing through the lens of the heart rather than the mind. If you're in a state of agitation, if you're in a state of frustration or anger or upset or upheaval, if there's tower moments that are coming in and all this emotion is coming up to the surface, again, don't attach a story to it, because that's the ego, that's the mind. Allow yourself to come into the higher heart. Allow yourself to center yourself in the heart and say, okay, what is true? Feel into your body. What does your body feel? Be in tune with your body, your physical vessel. What is your body feeling? How is your body receiving this information? How is your heart feeling? What is your intuition saying to you? Trust in the intuition. You're really learning how to trust in the intuition and not let your mind spiral you into doubt. The mind is where a lot of past energy comes through. The mind is where a lot of outside influence comes through. And so it's really important to learn discernment. Again, we have the mind for a purpose. The mind is a very powerful, creative energy, but the mind works in tandem with the heart. And if you're disconnected from the heart, then you're not in alignment with your truth. You're not in alignment with yourself. So really learn how to discern and trust in the truth of yourself. We have emotions and we have feelings as kind of guideposts, but trust in the truth of your feeling. Is this a past energy, or is this what I'm feeling presently? Your present moment is your point of power. Your heart space is your point of power. Your awareness is your point of power. That's where you become mindful. That's where your mind is powerful, through your awareness. Oh, that's a previous cycle. That's a previous energy. That's a projection. That's not true. That's not real. That's illusion. What is it that you're feeling? Keep stepping into your emotions. Keep sitting in that energy of your emotion, in your heart space. That's what I mean. Keep feeling into your heart space, because that is where you experience truth, because love is truth. And so keep seeing, where is this fear? Where is this pain? Where is this past? Is this love? Keep tapping into that love space. And that is also where you allow yourself to take action. Don't take action from the mind space, from the past pain, from the projections. Again, the ego is very tricky, especially when you come into spiritual ego, where you're like, oh, I'm above the ego. That's very, very tricky. That's where you have to honor what you're feeling within your heart space. Trust in what you're feeling. Trust in the heart. Look through the lens of love. That's where you take guided intuitive action by aligning. You take action when you are in alignment with your awareness and your heart. So adjustments are required. That adjustment is your perception, your perspective. Allow yourself to shift in consciousness. Don't keep spiraling back into the old ways of being. Your expansion is a gift. Your awareness is a gift. Allowing yourself to shift in consciousness is a gift. That is your ascension journey. If you're still in the same mindset or patterns or behaviors or beliefs of the past, and you're not allowing yourself to grow. Beliefs are beautiful things, but they have to have room to grow. That's where your consciousness shifts. That's where your consciousness grows. That's when your frequency grows. So allow yourself to shift perspectives, especially allow yourself to have that empathy, to shift perspectives from looking at things from different viewpoints. Especially if you're interacting with somebody. Remember, relationships are our greatest catalyst for growth. If you are interacting with somebody, allow yourself, rather than getting defensive, allow yourself to have that open mind. Maybe take some time to contemplate. Maybe take some time to reflect within yourself. What is this showing within yourself? What is this triggering within yourself? Take some time to bring it to your awareness. Oh, they're triggering an old pattern within me. They're triggering an old belief. They're triggering an old wound. Allow yourself to take some time to reflect within yourself. That's the Scorpio energy. Allowing yourself to dive deep within yourself, connect with yourself, reflect within yourself, and bring it up for transformation. So allow yourself to see what is this other person or this experience really showing you, and allow yourself to adjust accordingly, by trusting within yourself. Sometimes it's saying, you know what, that doesn't resonate with me. I'm not going to accept that as my truth. That doesn't feel like my truth, doesn't feel authentic to me. So I'm going to say thank you for that, but it's not resonating. I reject that. That's fine. allow yourself also to be on the other side of, you know what, something about that is really sparking within me. I'm going to sit with that for a minute and see how I can shift, or how it's showing me a new perspective, and how that's allowing me to expand my horizons, to expand my viewpoint, to expand my mind. Both are justified. Both are beautiful ways for you to expand. You're either understanding yourself and connecting to yourself more fully for the first example, or you're allowing yourself to grow and expand by shifting your perspective. But no matter what, the adjustment is required. Your commitment to yourself is being tested. This is not necessarily with regards to doubling down in your resistance or doubling down in your stubborn energy. This is in regards to how are you being true to you? How are you connecting to yourself? How are you connecting to God? I was faced with a couple of different challenges this week, and it would have just completely in the past, especially as a former people pleaser, it would have completely had me undone. I would have just bent over backwards. I would have just been beside myself because I would have felt like I was disappointing people. I made some mistakes. And this time, what I did was I said, you know what? I'm not going to abandon myself and criticize myself for this mistake. I'm going to own it and take accountability for it and apologize for it and say, you know what? I'm going to be more mindful next time. I'm going to learn from this experience. That's where I said, I'm not going to abandon myself by criticizing myself and spiraling down into the depths of despair and defeat. And oh my gosh, I'm a horrible person for making this very simple mistake, a very almost like a nonchalant mistake. But I was so hard on myself in the past that even the tiniest thing that wouldn't have mattered to anybody else mattered to me, because I just so deeply do not like disappointing people. Hurting people is the very last thing I ever want to do. And so in the past, I just would have completely like gone over it and over it and felt so disappointed in myself and so worried that I was disappointing other people. But I said, you know what? I don't want to abandon myself in that regard. I don't want to criticize myself. I don't want to be so hard on myself. I want to be loving towards myself. And so that's where I committed to myself, committed to loving myself more by saying, you know what? I made this mistake. I'm sorry. I'm going to be more mindful in the future. I'm going to make changes. I'm going to be more aware in the future, and keep going forward. And that's the beautiful energy of shifting and changing, and being committed to loving yourself and allowing other people to receive that too and love you. Because I talked with the person that it was a mistake at work, and I talked with the person and they said, no problem, it's not a big deal. I just wanted to make you aware. And so okay, I was aware, and where in the past I would have just completely like it would have just completely knocked me through a loop for weeks and months, and I would have just kept thinking about it. Now it was like, okay, I'm loving myself and allowing myself to receive that compassion and love from the other person, and saying, okay, it's done. I made a mistake. I'm aware of it. I'm taking accountability for it. I'm making changes for it, and I'm going to shift myself. So part of that experience, even though I was shifting, so the mistake is no longer being made, part of that shifting was loving myself and not being so hard on myself anymore. You're creating your future in every given moment with every choice that you make. And as you are changing the patterns, as you're making those adjustments and seeing things through new lenses, through more lenses of love, receiving love and giving love, as you are committed to loving yourself more fully and connecting to yourself more fully. And what I mean by connecting to yourself more fully, I really mean by honoring yourself. And this does not mean that you are selfish. This does not mean that you are neglecting or negating other people. This just means that the more connected you are to yourself, the more awareness that you have, and the more that you can engage with other people more lovingly and more confidently and more compassionately, because you're knowing yourself. You're staying true to yourself, which allows you to stay true to other people. So the more that you're making these shifts, the more that you're creating from a higher level of energy, a higher frequency, a higher level of experience, and a higher consciousness. Nothing's written in stone, because you are creating in this now moment, in this present moment. And I feel like this energy that we're in, again, the 8-8 portal, opening up that wormhole, the full moon eclipse really bringing everything up to the surface that still needs to be taken into account, that we still need to be lovingly, compassionately aware of in order to shift, and consciously choosing that shift with the 1111 gateway, making that conscious choice, it brings us into the new. It helps us to create our future much more consciously. So, major changes taking root here. All right, that is where this sacred partnerships come into play. This 1111 gateway is extremely important for twin flames and sacred partnerships, because I feel like even if it feels like you are worlds apart, even if it feels like you are completely separate, you are healing so much energetically together. But acknowledge that you are in this together, that you are loving each other together. Even if it feels like you're projecting onto each other, even if it feels like there's so much pain between you two, allow yourselves to transmute that through the energy of love, through your higher level of awareness that there has and always will be love between you two, that you are the union of opposites, that you might approach your journeys from very different templates, from very different angles, but you're two sides of the very same coin. And the more that you're aware of that, the more you're able to come together in more harmony and more love, help to transmute all of that energy and just create a new life for yourselves as one, for yourselves perhaps in partnership, if that's what you so choose together, for yourselves individually, both of you in the highest energy of love for your individual journeys, creating beautiful experiences for yourselves and for the world as a whole, because the more that you are in that union with yourself and with your partner, the more that energy just has this massive supernova effect. It has this, your love creates new universes. Your love is so expansive that it creates new worlds. And so you're approaching it. It's almost what I'm seeing is like the sun and the moon kind of circling each other and coming together in this beautiful union, that even though you are opposite, you are one as well. And that's what we're really understanding, that even though we are all kind of opposites, we are all unique expressions, we are all part of the same energy, we all are part of the same creation. That is what united consciousness really is, understanding we are all a union of opposites. All right, you guys, they're pulling back, so I'm going to pull back. That is going to be the channeling for today. Stay tuned, because we're going to be having much more on this channel. I am sending you so much love and so much light, and we'll see you soon. Bye.